Welcome to my everything I read in the month of May. Hopefully that intro did some justice to everything I read in just this month alone, and a quick backstory as to why this month is so important. Of course, the month of May. This was the first month and the month in general that got me as into comic books as I am now. I had a short period a couple years ago. I was getting so into manga, and I've always had a relationship with superheroes and that type of medium. But I would watch videos of people going over the full runs or stories, and that was about the extent I got besides TV shows and movies. This month, I actually dove deep into comics, and I could not like them anymore. So this is the most important one. What really got me into it, to be honest, as funny as it is Free Comic Book Day. The first Saturday of May, they do it every single year, and that was like a fun hype moment, I guess, or day where everybody's like, we're gonna see what they have, whatever. And it was, yeah, there's free stuff, but look at all these ongoing runs that I would love to get into. Absolute, Ultimates, different characters I love, all this different stuff. And funny enough, it is supposed to be a selling point to get people in the stores. It worked. I had this awesome trip to Canada because that was the closest comic book shop to me. I never get to go to Canada. It was this really nice moment. Every single Wednesday, every new comic book day, it's been living on. So what I'm going to do today is rate all the issues that I've read in the month of May. I'm going to try to keep it to runs unless it's like a couple single issues. I'll try to give you bits and pieces. Besides that, I'm going to get right to it and waste no time. We're starting out really strong. A lot of these first ones are going to be the Absolute series. So if you're not the biggest fan, just give me a second. It's not too long. Starting off strong with Absolute Batman. So far, the only issues out right now are 1 to 8, and I really do enjoy this. I was going to say your average Batman story. It's not. They make sure in all of these Absolute stories to change up at least one major thing, and in this one, he grows up poor, and they actually switch his parents dying, and they have the dad die, and the mom actually survive. They have this really nice story between Bruce as a kid and the father, and kind of the stuff he teaches him before he does get killed. And what I really love about this specific run so far is the fact of them making him more of an engineer than anything, and a general genius for picking up different stuff. I love the friend group they give him with having it be his rogues gallery, especially the axe. He's engineered too, where it's not only the logo, but it can turn into the blade for an axe. This is a great run, and funny enough, I don't even know if this is the best Absolute run. If I had to rate it in general, I would give this either a high 3 or 4 out of 5. This is excellent. I love Black Mask and the party animals, and I love what they've done with Mr. Freeze, and cannot wait for Bane. That's Absolute Batman. Great stuff in there. Love the Bat Tank. The Bat Tank is awesome, and before I move on, I love what they did with Alfred. Instead of being a butler, and he's always important as the butler, and all the lessons he still teaches Bruce is not being his family member technically, but low-key. He actually has a crazy role where he's like an agent or like a spy or whatever it is, and he's actually getting to help Bruce out basically in the field, so it's really cool. Moving on to Absolute Flash. Flash is a really nice treat, and speaking of this foil cover I found, I didn't realize how cool foil covers were, and they had this when I was going to get Absolute Flash #1. I was like, why not? And to this day, it's been like the month. I've only really been as into comics as I have been for this month. This is still my favorite foil cover. It's absolutely sick. So far, there's Absolute Flash 1, 2, and 3. 1 is awesome to read and really sets up a really cool story. You know, you have the tragedy and what Wally's going to have to overcome. 2 built off that and showed a lot of the rogues he's going to have, this team coming after him that I think is assigned by his dad to get him back. They're like, don't kill him, you know, just bring him in. That's all we need. I love the Captain Cold redesign. The Trickster caught me off guard because I think they called Trickster by his name or its name. It's kind of hard to tell. And it was so hard for a second to get it. And once I heard it, I was like, oh, I did know his first name. But I really like the redesigns, especially Captain Boomerang having like tech. 3 was the only one I was partially iffy on. I love how they introduced Gorilla Grodd and what Gorilla Grodd looks like. I think it was just like everybody's saying, not to just fit in whatever, but genuinely, it's just a little bit too short. Great series so far. If I had to rate it as a whole so far, I'd probably go a 3. I know that sounds mean, but it is really good so far. It has potential. It just hasn't necessarily like really captured that potential and ran with it. Next up, and you'll notice a trend soon here, don't worry. We have Absolute Green Lantern #1 and 2. These are the only ones that are out so far. really promising start, setting up Hal Jordan as could be the big bad or this threat just in general. You have Abin Sur come to Earth, and instead of this really nice alien, like, Hal, you got to take on the legacy. You have to help people, whatever. This is your responsibility. It was like, die. Abin Sur is so scary, and then the power that Hal gets from him is scary too. Like, he'll keep his hand in his pockets. He's like, I can't take him out. I can't take him out. The cops are like, take your hands out of your pockets. What do you have in them? He's like, no, no, no. And then just bad things happen. Also, the massive, like, Green Lantern symbol falling from the sky and crushing people. Wild, especially when they show what happened to the bikers. On top of that, I love that they have the cast of the Green Lanterns in here. You know, you have John, Guy as a cop too, by the way. Joe. And then the main character we just need to see more of, but there's only been 2, and the first one was really setting up Hal, so I get it. These I am going to have to reread, because some of these, if I don't have a ton of details, it's for a reason. I've read so much that stuff meshes together, or it kind of gets put by the wayside. You tend to notice the ones that are written so well because they stick around, and in this case, the ones that I really like, I actually have higher respect for, because since I've read so many, some of these I just forget the details for. So if there's one I know a lot of details for, it's because it's good. Absolute Green Lantern, if I had to rate it so far, probably another 3 or high 3, kind of like Absolute Flash. This one is really promising to me because of the Green Lantern Corps and what they're setting up. But so far, only 2. Can't wait for this Wednesday for 3. After that, another absolute treat. We have Absolute Martian Manhunter 1 to 3. 3 just came out. 3 especially really had me intrigued. Throughout this story, it's this really colorful art and story they're trying to tell. John Johns, it kind of confused me. I don't know if it's John Jones or Johns. The way they like write it out confuses me. I apologize. But the detective story and being like confusing in a fun way where it's like, what is going on? Like, I want to figure this out. It's giving me piece by piece, but not trying to unravel it all at once. It's really entertaining. And the gimmick they had for number 1, where you would hold up this panel to the light, and on one side of the page it showed John, and on the other the Martian, and it would like kind of come through onto the picture of John. So cool. It sold so many issue 1s like it wasn't already good already. This is a great series. If I had to rate it on just 3 alone, it would be an easy 4, if not higher, but I'm going to keep it there just for now. I want to see what they keep doing with it. After that is one that I have not been able to read as much as I wanted to. I think I have all the issues now. Now it's just a sort of putting the time aside. We have Absolute Superman. I believe it's caught up to 7, and I think I have up to 7. I've only read 1 through 4 because until this last week, I only had 1, I believe. Or it was one of those where I had a couple, but there was some missing, and I do prefer reading physical when I can. So most of these I show you are going to be physical. There's going to be some digital ones I might have to mention, but funny enough, I think I did get them in issue form. So Absolute Superman has been great so far. Some of the stuff I love is the suit and the dust for the cape. Like, it's a super advanced suit where they don't have to be like, oh, all the powers are Clark's. Some of it is the suit and technology that the parents developed. Speaking of, parents are great in this story. There's some times where characters are just unbearable or written to be a little hard or annoying. They make his parents awesome. I love Jor-El, and then the mom, I always forget the name, but she's great too. Just striving to help out all these other people and save the planet. And you have the high tier people, the clerics, I believe they call them, that are just crappy people. It's like, you're gonna do what we want or you're scum. And it is such a well written story. I love Lois in this too, being like a field agent that actually goes out to make a difference. Sadly, it seems like she's fighting for the wrong side up until this point. And then you have the Omega Men, I believe, or the Omega something, which is the others trying to get in her head like, you are not working for the right ones. And then it's further established like the Peace Corps, all the Peacemaker suits are terrible people too. They have one specifically where they're really just trying to push them to be worse. And at the end of 4 was a crazy cliffhanger. This group of the Peacemakers get frozen by Superman. They unfreeze and they're taking the one into custody. And he's like, wait, what did I do? What did I do? Like, last I know, I was just frozen. I think they're framing him for a public like massacre. Crazy. All of these so far are great. Like, people are going to be like, you know, this is the best one. This is the worst one. But the tier they're all at is just so much higher. And I've been loving them so far. So that's Absolute Superman. For just about any of these, there's more to say. These are the things that really come to mind. Next up, another absolute pleasure to have the chance of reading. We have Absolute Wonder Woman. This one, more than any of the rest, was hard to track down. I think I have 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, I believe. So I have to get the in-between ones. And then 2 times I made the same mistake with Absolute Wonder Woman. I've been grabbing whatever I can get. And with Superman and others, I'm so like locked in with my mind with what I have and don't have. Somehow Wonder Woman, I made the same mistake twice. So I accidentally bought 2 of issue number 7. Funny enough, basic cover for both. So I don't know how I did that. And then for number 2, I accidentally got 2 twice, but they're different like covers. So it kind of makes sense. It's like, okay. And funny enough, both of them are variants. None are the actual one. But this is really good so far. Incredibly strong start. I love her intimidating like the general and military and being like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I'm doing the right thing and taking on these huge monsters. I also love her upbringing, being sent to hell as like an infant or child, and then having her, what's supposed to be arch nemesis, Cersei, be her mother or caretaker. Crazy spin on it. And the whole idea is obviously she doesn't grow up in Themyscira. What I didn't know ahead of time is it's not just she doesn't grow up in Themyscira, she grows up in hell. So it is crazy. And I love Steve Trevor in this too, in all the writing so far. I am really, really early in this, earlier than basically all of them besides Green Lantern. So there's much more to come from what I heard. This might be the best Absolute. Lot of potential here. So really happy about that too. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 4. I'll show you the covers real quick so you can get an idea if you haven't seen them yet. Really great covers, really great art. Sadly, that's kind of where it stops for me. This was really disappointing to me, and this specifically made me want to get into Ultimate Spider-Man because they said a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man stuff and just Spider-Man stuff in general has been getting really kind of cut and dry and status quo, not much outside of it, and that's just kind of what this reads as. There's highlights here and there. Norman Osborn being a weirdly good mentor. The job stuff with Peter, I personally liked reading where he's having trouble, and these people are like, dude, we're sticking up for you. We don't know what else we can do. Like, we're risking ourselves here to make sure you have a job and you can stay here and don't get fired. Meanwhile, he's out there trying to save everybody, and these people think they're sacrificing. He's like, no, I go out every night, you know, I'm not showing up to work because I have to do this. Or he got drugged at one point, so it was like, I cannot be myself, like something is going on. It just, there's bits and pieces where it's really weird, and I can't remember. I got to see if I've read number 4. There's a chance I haven't, and it accidentally got put in here, but there's just like decent highs but some really low lows. Like, I don't like Itsy Bitsy at all. It's kind of really creepy. She's almost like the stalker type to Spider-Man. There's a part where she had drugged him, and it's incredibly strong. Like, Norman tried helping him out of it, and he's like, I did everything I could. Like, I shot you up with this much times the normal amount or whatever to try to go against it. And he's drugged, and she's like, I have what do you call it? She said something like, I've not saved your life, but not taken it 3 times, whatever the word or phrase for that. I can't think of it for whatever reason. And just kind of one of those messages like, don't try to get into what we're doing, like the group or people she's working for. Otherwise, I will take your life. But then he's like super drugged up, and she like licks him or something like across his face. And I'm like, this is so creepy. I get what they're going for. This is so bad. But sadly, that's about it. Like, the art is amazing, but there's not much that's really going for it. And I kind of didn't care for what they were doing with Uncle Ben and Aunt May either. So we're going to get straight to stack number 2 and keep this train rolling. Okay, starting off with the second stack and starting incredibly strong, we have Geiger number 1. One of the things for this, where you'll see I haven't read any more, is I found this at a comic shop, and they had a bunch of the Geiger issues, so I am going to be going back to get those. Number 1 started off really strong. I love the Dr. Phosphorus vibe. I know somebody's going to be like, oh, well, that's taking some away from the character or whatever. I like Dr. Phosphorus, and I like this guy too. It gives that vibe, and then that kind of like Lone Ranger, literally, like nobody really around him that likes him. And then he has this really goofy guy that does, and it kind of gives that, reluctant to be friends with type of person, but I actually really like the vibe of the dude. And then looking out for people like that. It's funny, and it's really funny because it's that same exact archetype you're going to see in one of these next ones. But like really reluctant to help people, but you know they want to. They're just either lazy or caught up in something else. That's kind of what this is giving. And then Jeff Johns is an amazing writer, so you can see why people like it so much or why it's going to end up being so good. Like I said, I've only read issue number 1. I do want to continue this. This seems very promising and very good, so I definitely am gonna. Oh, I almost forgot. I haven't been rating everything, or maybe I have been doing a good job. Geiger start, probably 4 stars. Really promising. After that, we have Godzilla vs. Spider-Man, and it's funny how these really flip-flop, because it's only in alphabetical order, no order to how much I like it or not. I loved Godzilla in this. I love the fact that he got the symbiote and we had a symbiote Godzilla. Besides that, I thought the Spider-Man quips were just not great at all. I wouldn't say an all-time low, but they were just all right. And Spider-Man didn't feel all that cool. It was almost like a writer was like, I got the chance to do this. I'm just going to act all high and mighty, or I know exactly what I'm doing. And then they just didn't do it well at all. I'm not trying to talk. It's the same dude who does Amazing Spider-Man. That's why. No hate to the guy whatsoever. It's just, it could be done so much better. And I thought the story was kind of rushed. I'm assuming they're doing more than one issue for each time they do this, because they have Godzilla versus X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. There's an X-Men versus Chicago and LA, I believe, too. This so far, not a great start, dropping it immediately. I don't even know if I'm going to get the other Godzilla versus ones. If I had to rate it, maybe a 1 or 2. I think the symbiote Godzilla honestly spiced it up enough where it would bring it up. Besides that, just iffy and really forgettable, which stinks. That's like the only Godzilla thing I've read, so you would think it would last, but I guess not. Now, starting a huge trend here you're going to see, we have Dawn of DC Green Lantern #1. Now, when I wanted to get into Green Lantern, what funny enough really got me into it is before this, like I had dipped into comic books. I never got as into them as I have been. The Rebirth Jeff Johns run, I got the Omnibus and I got Blackest Night. In both of those, I read just about a quarter or more. And it wasn't like I stopped them because I didn't like them. It was just when I'm on those iffy periods of reading. So for this, I was like, let me get a fresh start, not just reread that. I am going to finish them both. Don't worry. But I was like, let me get a new Green Lantern. So when I had gone on my Comic-Con trip in April, I found the Love and War Volume 2 trade paperback for Dawn of DC. And I was like, that's really cool. I was going to read it and I realized it was Volume 2. So I was like, let me get the issues before it. So Dawn of DC 1 through 6, and then you can read the Volume 2 trade paperback. This run by Jeremy Adams is phenomenal. And the art is amazing too. It draws me in every single time. And I have loved it so much. I have the entire run up to date. This is the most issues I have for one single thing besides technically Omnibus. But I love it. And one of the things, and love is going to get thrown around a lot, I apologize. But one of the things I especially love within the Jeremy Adams run is every once in a while they'll change the artist. And I can tell how much I like the one because I notice immediately. I mean, same with covers too. That's a common thing. Sorry, anyways, I got a call real quick. One of the trends is that they'll obviously have other artists come in with variant covers, so it does kind of spice it up. But I can tell the Zermanico or Fajardo Jr., whoever the artist does, kills it every time. One of the only ones I think it went slightly down, it was either a different artist or because of the Absolute Power tie-in cover they had that kind of takes away from the art. But I'll just show you a glimpse real quick because sadly, some of this stuff I don't remember that much from. But here's the cover for 1, cover for 2, you can see Hal and Kilowog, and then cover for 3, you have Hal and Sinestro. All of these have, I don't even know if it's a great way to detail it, like a surprising optimism. And for Green Lantern being somebody that's so high in will and willing to, no pun intended, rise to the occasion and help people, it's so cool. And one of these days, I'm probably going to get one of the covers that I love the most and get them graded. This run, writing and art-wise, is probably going to be one of my favorites. Now, I got Jeff Johns stuff over there. I think that's almost sacrilegious to say for Green Lantern stuff, but still. There's 6, for example. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. Here's issue 7 to 12 in a trade paperback. You can see why it got me into it. Star Sapphire, wife. I'm telling you. If I could pick any character, it would be Star Sapphire. And then this is what I'm talking about where it must be Zermanico, I hope I'm saying that right, that did the covers, because you can notice the difference immediately, and then the Absolute Power tie-in, whatever. Also, the sad thing is, I love these no matter what. I did slightly read them out of order. So what you're supposed to do for anybody that's interested in getting into it, if hopefully I'm doing good enough job talking this up, is you do Dawn of DC 1 through 12, you have the Absolute Power tie-in 13 here, because this is when they were starting the Absolute Universe, or the All-In, I guess, technically. You read up to 13, 14, and then, hold on. Oh, it's getting too diagonal where they're just falling down. Hold on. 13, 14, 15. So then you're done with the Absolute Power tie-in. You go into Green Lantern Civil Corps Special. This is great, too, and I love the art for this. They even did a great alternate cover that has Star Sapphire on it. God, it's so quick. I think it was the foil cover too. One of the few foil covers I have, but I love that one and the Hell one. I got to figure out what the Hell one is for. Then after the Absolute Power tie-in and the Civil Core special, then you finally get into the All-In, and then they stay on All-In. So it's really easy to understand what you have to read next besides one or two things I'll show you in a second. This, I might get a really good copy of this and get this graded. This might be my favorite cover in the entire run. It's up there for sure. Just, it looks so cool having the logo behind him and how optimistic and happy he looks. And then you have 17, 18, and then here's one of the ones I'm talking about. You have the Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum. This is another foil I have. It's crazy good. And then after that, you get back to the All-In. That's really basic. You have 19. Really great cover here too. You have 20. Again, a really great cover. I love when they have the other core members in the cover. I mean, it just makes sense, especially for a Green Lantern thing. And then you have 21 with, I think, Starbreaker, sorry. I was confused on who that was. I think it's a newer enemy, if not like brand new. And then you have this one where you look at it and the size of the head, you're like, that's Sinestro. They bring back Hector Hammond out of nowhere, and I actually thought it was really cool. And they do that like, no, he's good now. What's funny is they didn't even wait it out. He's evil within the same issue again. So that was really funny. Like I said, like I've been reading that like crazy and other stuff, so I forget some of the details, but I could tell you some of the major points. That's one of the ones I remember because I read it recently. And then this one too, teasing Spectre, and they obviously have him in the issue. And then Nort in Hell, which is one of the cute little like furry guys in the Green Lantern Corps. It was at the end of 22, and I was like, there's no way. Like, what did he do? He lost his way and accidentally ended up there, so I was like, oh, thank God. But this run is amazing. I'm not kidding. Part of the reason I've been is into comics, like the Green Lantern stuff in general. Now, that's it for the second stack. I'm going to get the third stack. If I had to rate that run, either a 4 or 5. I have Goodreads, and if you guys ever want to see my ratings, sometimes I forget to rate stuff immediately, so it's kind of after and I'm not as fresh on it, but just look up Core Collects on Goodreads. I'm going to get the third stack real quick and show you the rest. Okay, this is the biggest stack yet, so I will try to be quick. One of the ideas I had is I want people to be able to see this, but I don't want the video to be too long where people don't click, so I am trying to be a little quick. Otherwise, I could keep talking on and on, I promise. Funny enough, it starts at a perfect spot. We have Green Lantern Dark. I said it a couple minutes ago. This is what I was talking about. I didn't realize there were so many issues in between. But another hero that's kind of like reluctant to save or go out of their way to help people, but you know deep down they really want to. Somebody recommended this to me by accident. It was in a video, somebody was talking about it. They're like, not your average Green Lantern read, but it's like a nice spin. Hell yeah, it is. I really enjoy this. This right here is Solomon Grundy. I'll try to give you a close-up so you can see him a little bit better. He's one of the big bads. And funny enough, in like an apocalyptic type read, they have the biggest bad, I think, Demona, which actually looks like she'd be good. So it's that kind of like switch up where you're like, oh, big bad guy, whatever. And it's like, no, this girl that looks like, I think like has a butterfly dress ends up being the evil one, and it kind of throws you off. But this is great stuff. I have issue 1 through 4 so far, and I think I'm caught up. One of the other things I love is they do different color schemes. So you have like the normal green, kind of a darker green, that type of purple, and then red. And this story is another one of those that has been great so far. So I cannot talk this up enough. This would probably be a 4 for me. It's not perfect by any means, but it's actually really good and entertaining. Next up, another like brand new one, as most of these are gonna be, Green Lantern Corps 1 through 4. These have great covers too, where it's just kind of the Corps hanging out together. You know, they're kind of fighting in this one. The other two are a little bit more calm, and then this one too. Oh my gosh, you have the Simon holding it up with, oh, I love that. All the different constructs. These are great as well. These, I believe, are their own thing. I don't think you need to read any of the All-In or Dawn of DC to understand this from what I've been told. So if you want to get into a run that's really recent in Green Lantern, this is really good too. It's going to have all the different members for the most part, or most of them. I mean, Jessica and Simon actually get some of the limelight again after kind of being forgotten for a little bit. They continue to try to push Sojourn, which was in Far Sector. Not in a bad way. It's just like she's getting more limelight now. There's Kelly. John, Guy, and Kyle. And what I love in that Jeremy Adams are on too, if you like Kyle, they do this really cool thing with Kyle that kind of goes throughout the issues and they slow tease it rather than it being like, oh, here's his highlight and done. He kind of has that a little bit after the slow tease, but it is so cool. Next up, I'll give Green Lantern Corps like a 3 or 4 so far. Really good, but nothing too crazy that I remember. Next up, one that I was slightly disappointed by, and I have been trying to get into Marvel. Maybe I'm picking the wrong stuff. Jeff Week. This is a super fun, cute read if you're trying to like shut your brain off and just look at the panels. There was little to no words whatsoever, and if there's any words, it's usually Jeff talking like a sound. Besides that, it's kind of him hanging out with the heroes. It is very cute, and it's not bad by any means, just not my type. I've been really enjoying the writing in comic books, and this is as simple as it gets, and it's awesome. But for how much was it? $6? Is it that good? I'm not like huge on making sure like a comic book is worth how much it is, but I get those people. That one especially definitely could have done without, and that's issue 1. I don't know how much they're going to do with that. The art is really cutesy, so if you have like a girlfriend that's into Jeff, or if you're even into Jeff and like the cuter side of Marvel, it is good. After that, we have Justice League The Atom Project #1. This was a really nice start, and it actually gave me a little brief history into the Atom, Captain Atom, and then the other Atom, because I think it's Ray Palmer, and then the other one, and then Captain Atom. It was nice because these 3 characters I know little to nothing about. I know Atom through the CW a little bit with, I believe, Legends of Tomorrow, a little bit in Arrow, and maybe a little bit in Flash. Captain Atom, I know very little about for how popular he's supposed to be, so it was really nice to get like a glimpse of it. And then they have just kind of falling out amongst each other already in issue 1, so I'm very tempted to keep getting this and see how they treat that relationship. So far, probably like a 3, like a really nice start, but nothing too crazy. Next up, this one's, I don't know if I read this one, funny enough. I don't know why this is in here. I actually might have, maybe not. But Justice League Unlimited, I think I read the annual. I don't know what happened to that. I gotta find it. But there's an annual that I think was supposed to be in this place, and that was really good. So I'll put that to the side just in case, because I honestly don't know if I read it or not. And then, of course, I forgot because it has a foil cover. I read JSA #1 and 2. I have the foil cover for 1. This is great so far. Speaking of like characters I haven't gotten to know enough, this has Jade and Obsidian in it, Alan Scott's children, and it actually has a good bit of obviously the Justice Society in it, so Alan, Wildcat, Dr. Fate, and the rest. So some of the characters we've been seeing less of compared to like Justice League and some of the big heavy solo hitters, you actually can see quite a bit, if not like the entire time, obviously, in this, and it is very nice. These so far I would say are like a strong 3. Really nice, but there's some improvement for sure. Heavy hitter. We have Kingdom Come, the only other trade so far in this what I've read. Kingdom Come was excellent. I saw a critique for this like minutes before I started recording this video out of nowhere. Otherwise, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Somebody brought up a valid point that Alex Ross makes unbelievable covers, but when he's the artist for like an entire run, it's a little overwhelming because of how good the art is. It's like you're trying to take everything in, but then also read at the same time. I think that's sorry, I got called again. But anyways, I think it's a fair critique, but for me, I loved the art, and I really specifically loved looking at the old Batman, seeing how he is. One of the things I didn't understand that either went over my head or wasn't explained well enough is why Batman had all the contraptions on him. My guess is all the time fighting crime and like putting his body on the line caught up to him. I think that's pretty fair and easy to say. Besides that, Alan Scott's design, I mean, you can slightly see it over here. He's right here. Being like this Emerald Knight literally is so cool, in this type of satellite or watchtower they make from in the sky. I would love both of those as figures. Marvel Legends does the HasLabs where they have like giant figures. I would love that structure as like a DC HasLab, and then just a regular figure either from McFarlane or Mattel eventually on the Alan Scott. I mean, that looks awesome. So far, we've gotten the Batman and Superman from Kingdom Come from McFarlane. I want the Alan Scott so bad. I mean, Wonder Woman's great too, but this is actually great. There's a lot of political commentary in here. I'm not as into politics like at all. I actually kind of dislike it. So some of it went over my head. Some I understood enough for sure. They make it simple enough that you should be able to understand no matter what. great read. I love how they treated their characters and kind of had them go head to head. And some of the names in there, like Lex Luthor, is actually quite prominent. And then they made Shazam like a force to be reckoned with in that, and I love it because sometimes he gets sidelined. Next up, we have Mr. Terrific Year 1. This is brand spanking new, like last week's new comic book day. This was a great start. Actually kind of already had me invested in the character, and they do something pretty tragic already, I guess, for T. But it caught me off guard, and I love almost right at the start, immediate action. It's him talking a little bit, and then like a fight with Darkseid. It's type of monologue, like I wish I could do more, whatever. So my guess for this type of run is they're going to have him doing smaller stuff technically that has big like outlook or stuff that's going to happen. There's something to do with, I think, pollution that he's trying to stop. And I'm going to spoil it really quick. So if you want to skip like 20-30 seconds, his friend goes in to like try to stop this company, and then they get caught and they end up getting shot. So it's like this almost like brother, literally, that's supposed to be a friend, is trying to help get him out of the house because I believe his wife died really tragic too. Finally gets him out of the house, or kind of like messing with him to get out there more, not even necessarily to date. And then to have him die in the first issue is wild. But so far it's really good. This one I would give like another high 3 or 4 for sure. Also, Kingdom Come, probably a 5. There's a reason people like that so much. Next up, we have Secret Six, issue 1 through 3. This one I am very torn on. This is either like a high 2 or low 3 maybe. Love Catman, love Deadshot. Some of the writing, no insult whatsoever, just kind of not my cup of tea. I like the team they've put together with Gossamer. Oh geez, what's the girl's name? I think Gossamer, Dreamer. There's one with pigtails I can never remember. Deadshot, Catman, and then the Superboy they have. I can't remember what one it technically is. But great team, and I like some of the fights and different stuff they do with it. The writing is kind of iffy for me sometimes. So Secret Six new run. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with that or not, but it's entertaining so far. It's not bad stuff at all. I love how some of these are back to back. Complete other side of the spectrum. Absolutely great writing for how simple it seems at times. Fun, high stakes, entertaining, whatever you want to say. Sonic and DC collab. This is great stuff. If you want to see a cover that'll probably get you into reading it, look at that. The Sonic characters is your Justice League. It is great. They do this thing where the Justice League is obviously teaming up with the Sonic team, and they have these back and forth like bantering or just conversations. It is so fun to read, having them go against Darkseid too, where it's like, yeah, this is really fun on the side, like we're having fun, but there is a huge threat. Really fun to read. I cannot wait for issue 4. It was one of those like there was my girlfriend's sister, or at least the sister's boyfriend and friend, are really into the Sonic stuff. It was one of those like I was almost begging, like, let them read this. They will probably love this. I will happily let them borrow it. It is that good. And I got a great recommendation from somebody on TikTok named I'm So White and Nerdy. He just put it in a video like, hey, if you haven't tried it yet, try it out. I was like, okay, amazing. I love this. I'm not even really, oh, sorry, I thought it ended stories. I'm not even necessarily a Sonic fan, and I really enjoyed this. Also, of course, they have like the main people. You could say there could be a swap out for Cyborg for like Martian Manhunter or something, but they have basically the main Justice League and then the main Sonic character, so there's not really any skipping out. If I had to give this run a rating so far, I know this sounds crazy, it's either a mid to high 4, if not 5. It is excellent. Next up, we had one that actually made me feel incredibly stupid. The Spectre #1, all the way from 1987. I got this one time at a comic book shop in Colorado while I was out there vacationing. And it really intrigued me. And just immediately in my head, I'm like, this has got to be so rare. Like, this is a crazy find. I don't think it's worth that much, but it is either the first issue of Spectre ever as like a solo run. And they have such like vivid descriptions, like really good. But the words they use, it's nothing other than what you can describe as like big boy words. And they're like one after another. So it's like the universal collision. Like, that's a really basic example. But they have like a detail word after another, and sometimes it's a little hard to follow. Besides that, it sets up a pretty basic like start to the story, not in a bad way. Like, you can fully understand it compared to those big boy words. And I actually really like this a lot. Sad thing is I don't know how I'm gonna continue this, but if I ever get the chance, I definitely will. I like the I think it's Madame Xanadu, and she randomly came up in one of those comics. I can't remember what one it was. I think maybe one of the Green Lantern ones. So it's one of those characters that I never heard of until Spectre, and then they just randomly come up, so that was cool too. Another really fun run, basically right after Sonic, Spider-Man and Wolverine. This has references in it. This has references in it like no other, and then it's really fun. And the cliffhanger at the end is like, what the heck? I'm not gonna lie, it just seems inspired by the MCU, but it really does catch you off guard. And I'm like, I can't wait for number 2. This is one I actually almost skipped on. I had saw it, I think 2 weeks ago, and I ended up picking it up this week for New Comic Book Day to be like, let me not miss out. This is probably really good. One of my friends, Vex, recommended it to me. It was really good. I would give this, to start out, a high 3, if not 4. This is great start. I gotta see what it keeps doing on after that, though. Another brand new one, we have Spider-Verse and Venomverse. I thought this was fun. I'm assuming this is going to be a very predictable run. I don't know if this is brand new, the number 1, and there's more to come, or if some are already out. It's pitting, obviously, the Spider-Man family against the symbiotes, and it's like only one will be able to survive, whether that's the Spider family or the symbiotes. My guess is they're going to have them team up in some way, and then everybody survives. Otherwise, I can't wait to see who they have to kill off to not make that be like the most basic thing that happens. They introduce, I think it's supposed to be a Weapon X related Spider-Man that just kind of looks like Cyclops to me. He's really cool. There's like a Viking one, or some type of samurai or shogun, and then there's the other heavy hitting one. Really cool symbiotes. There's also a really basic one, and then like an aura farming one. It's really funny. I can't wait to see what they do with this, and the fact that Spider-Ham is in it is really cool. I'll give that like a mid 3. I think it's a cool start, nothing crazy though. Then we have the Summer of Superman special. I don't know if this is the one I got mixed up with the Justice League Unlimited one or what, but I honestly don't remember enough about this, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad. I think it might have been this one. This one I'll have to reread. So far, oh no, I do remember because Steel and the one girl get married. I don't know. A lot of this already left my mind. I like Mark Waid a lot, but it was, I guess, pretty forgettable. I'm going to hold my rating on this and eventually reread it. For now, like the Steel stuff that I remember, and then Superman and Lois was good. It's the friend he grew up with that married Steel. Okay. For now, I'm going to give it like a mid 3 because sadly it's really forgettable, but I think I read that a while ago is why. Now, on the other end of it, Superman Unlimited number 1, this was excellent. This is a phenomenal jumping on point for anybody that wants to get into comics, especially Superman if you haven't read enough. It kind of goes over like what's happened in the past in a fun way where it's like he's going against a threat right now, and it's one of those like reliving the glory days or moments, rather than just like this time on Superman recapping the last 1,000 years, like whatever. It actually does it in a fun way, and then it actually sets up a completely new thing that you've never heard of, and I don't think it's been done before. Excellent, excellent, excellent. They did an amazing cover for this too. I believe it's Dan Mora. It's James Gunn and David Cornsweet on the front. That was one like the Spider-Man and Wolverine I almost missed out on. The week after that, made sure to get it, and it looks phenomenal. This is a great start. This is a 4 or 5 for me. Great issue. After that, we have Ultraman and the Avengers. This isn't a brand new one. I think this is 1 of 4, and I believe it's already out. This was a great start. Like, they have the Ultraman crew working together, and they're like, something is clearly wrong. Miles Morales comes through and gets to meet the crew. Nobody better than him. He was getting really familiar with them and joking and getting to know them. And then finally, the rest of the Avengers come out once they have gone against, I think, one of the main Ultraman villains that had, like, extra power. So they're like, there's something extra at stake here, something going on. And then it's teased that, like, Galactus made that one a herald, I believe, and that he's coming soon, so they have to save their world. Great start. I'll give this one, like, a high 3. I have to read more, and it's kind of sad that it's 1 of 4, so it's either going to be a really nice, tight 4 issues that get the story going and really, I guess, make itself known. Otherwise, it might be a little waste where it was too short. Next up, we have Ultimate Spider-Man 2. You're going to be a little confused why I don't have 1. I didn't have anything other than 2, and I knew I was going to try to read Ultimate Spider-Man, so I was like, I'll get this for now and then read once I get this stuff. A friend caught me up on 1 so that I could read 2, and what he said stuck, and it helped me get through 2. There was like nothing unturned or forgotten, and this was a really solid issue. I cannot say enough. I love the relationship between J. Jonah Jameson and I think it's Uncle Ben. It is so fun. And then also Peter's relationship with his daughter, really fun too. Great so far. I've literally only technically read the issue and then been told about what happens in 1. I'm invested. Like, this is so much better than Amazing Spider-Man. And I think this is the one with Shocker in it too. Just really fun, like 10 times better than Amazing Spider-Man. That one, if that's technically what I would say is the starting issue for me, that gets a 4.52. Really, really fun. Next up, in actual issue number 1, we have Ultimate Wolverine. This caught my attention heavily with the setup for it, with the Maker, and what was happening to prevent certain people. Okay, sorry, I have to hurry up because I'm running out of storage. But it really had my attention with the Maker stuff and that, like, foundation or group they have, and then the other, like, resistance or rebellion. Having Kurt, like, Nightcrawler as a priest, too, and trying to help Logan, and then dying. Like, it was very high stakes for a first issue and established a lot. This was excellent, too. This is either a 4 or 5 as well. I don't have too much else to say because some of the details are getting scraggly since I've read all the different stuff, but really good. I think this is what I was confusing with the Justice League Unlimited, so I apologize having that as a distraction. But this was good so far. The only problem is this was an annual number 1, and there was definitely a lot I missed from not being able to read Batman and Superman World's Finest. I'm going to try to catch up on them and then read this and then what comes after. But even still, this was fun. It's them trying to, I believe, recruit the Legion of Doom, and they're doing something with time travel. Fun. A little forgettable already, and I love Mark Waid, but a little forgettable. Probably like a mid-3. I liked what was in this, though. It's just, I'm already forgetting. Again, on the other end, there's always one that bounces to the other, and of course, this is Jeremy Adams. This was super fun. Just like hard traveling heroes again, and they did a World's Finest special, and then, yeah, new tales from a hard traveling era. This was incredibly fun, having Green Arrow and Hal Jordan back together. This makes me want to buy the Hard Traveling Heroes Omnibus so bad to be able to read that original. I think it's Dennis O'Neil stuff or somebody else. That might be the question one, or maybe he's done both. I'm not sure, but really great. And I actually got one of my friends to buy this, and he really liked it too. So great stuff here. I cannot recommend it enough. I really hope they do another issue. It seems like they're going to do a Green Lantern and Hal Jordan. And funny enough, they kind of had a little bit of Hal Jordan and Flash team up in the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern run. So I hope they at least do a little bit more with Green Arrow before they do Flash. Getting really close to the end of the stack, we have more Marvel. We have this first X-Men issue. I'm not sure what specific this run is, if this is Krakoa or what. This was a great start. Actually, I think it's starting to come back to me. This is where, oh damn, it's one of the two. I think this is where they have the really cool treehouse, and Beast is talking to one of the reporters. Great stuff. I kind of forget some already because of how much I've read. Oh, this is where they get the big mech and they fight the monster. Okay, yeah, that was cool. Besides that, sadly, I'm forgetting a lot. Either this or the next one is when Beast was talking to the reporter. Whichever one it is, I really like that conversation, having Magneto step in. I'm pretty sure it's this. If it's the other one, I apologize. But so far, based on what I remember, I'm going to give this like a mid-3 to 4. And move on to the next one. Wait. Okay, wait, yeah, I think that's that one. And then this one is where they have the X-Men team. This is another number 1 where I think they go against this certain enemy where they all look the same, and then they realize some of them are telepaths that I believe got the X gene like really late in life, like they shouldn't have. This was interesting too. Besides that, I forget about it. So I'm going to give this like a light 3. It was fun though, and I like Juggernaut kind of fighting alongside them. And then there was a newer person for me. I can't remember her name. She was cool, and I think Kid Omega. And then Magic, Psylocke, and Cyclops are always tough. Last up, we have Zatanna. I actually have issue number 2 for this. I just haven't read it yet. The lady in white in this, and then Zatanna's like magic and talking to the people, helping her perform. Really fun and really cool. I can't wait to read the rest of this. Apparently, this is really good. So far, I'm going to give this a 4. That's it for my stack. To give you guys an idea, that's how thick it was in the box. It is leaning a little bit, but it was easily halfway or like 3/4 of the short boxes. I was impressed by one, how much I got, and two, how much of it I read. I have a decent stack of how much I have to read with like single issues and trades, and then I have the background. A bunch of those books you see at the start, I have to read too. So there's not a lot of single issues and not too many trades, but there's a lot of like hardcovers or trades that are in that collection I haven't read yet. So I got quite a bit ahead of me, but I'm making crazy progress. Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you stayed to the end, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm not really after money or anything. I just really like getting to talk to people about this stuff, and when people are able to watch and kind of see my experience. So I really appreciate it. And if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. It means the world to me. Besides that, again, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon.